It has been nearly 2 weeks since a massive earthquake hit Nepal. In the immediate aftermath, Tzu Chi formed and sent a disaster survey and medical team to the country to help in any way they can. Throughout the journey, the team overcame many obstacles, including language and cultural differences, and water and electricity shortages. On May 6th, the team returned to Taiwan safely from Nepal. And though they have returned, their hearts remain with the survivors in Nepal. Receiving flowers and hugs upon returning to Taiwan, the first Tzu Chi disaster survey and medical team spent the last 10 days in Nepal, helping out with medical relief.
From a numbers perspective, if you are purely looking at what medical help we provided in Nepal, we helped over 1,500 patients. However, in truth, we comforted many more patients than that.
Upon arrival in Nepal, the medical team came across many obstacles, the first being unable to practice without a license. Thankfully, the local government quickly issued temporary medical licenses for the doctors.
There is much to be done medically on the front lines after an earthquake or other types of disasters. If patients who suffer from bone fractures or trauma can receive immediate help, then the survival rate is greater.
Tzu Chi volunteers also provided humanitarian aid for the survivors, which included hot meals for 6,150 people, 70 large tents suitable for 2,800 people to live in, casual work programs for 167 people, 500 plastic tarps and canvases, and 10 sets of solar lighting systems. The aid distributions were to give residents a sense of hope during such uncertain times.
The most difficult part of this mission was clearing customs. You can imagine the traffic of it all with relief supplies coming in from all over the globe. We were lucky that our items arrived immediately. We also purchased many items locally to help stimulate the local economy.
Although the first team has returned to Taiwan, the love and care of Tzu Chi have yet to cease, as volunteers from 8 countries have converged in Nepal to continue to help quake survivors get through the difficult times ahead. In the wake of the massive earthquake that hit Nepal, medical assistance became a most pressing need, as hundreds of thousands of injuries, light and heavy, were left untreated. Knowing there were survivors in need in Nepal, Tzu Chi's doctors set out immediately.
Healthcare is without borders. When they needed help with bone fractures or other medical emergencies, we were there alongside them in the operating room. This assistance from Taiwan is something that will stay with them.
The 4 doctors from Taiwan put their expertise to good use as they treated patients with a variety of injuries. However, in the face of bone fractures, they needed some assistance.
They didn't have any orthopedic equipment, so I sent X-ray pictures back to Taiwan with my phone, telling them to bring the necessary equipment and whatever else they can think of that we might need here.
The doctors also conducted free clinics in more remote areas. I found that as they cleaned up their surroundings, the survivors continued to sustain accidental injuries.
Actually, fallen tiles or rocks can hurt people as well. We closed up their wounds and gave them medication, and told them we would come back the next day to check on them.
Local nursing students joined the Tzu Chi doctors in the free clinics, and during their time together, a new friendship was formed.
I introduced Tzu Chi to them and gave them each a card with a Jinsi aphorism on it. They were very happy to have received the gift, and very interested in what the aphorisms had to say.
Though the 4 doctors have returned to Taiwan, their hearts remain in Nepal with the survivors. The baton of love and care has now been passed on to the second disaster survey and medical team, which will continue to safeguard the quake survivors' health and well-being.